Hi guys! Well, that was a fail. I'm over here, and today I have been waiting a while to make this video. Today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite Nancy Drew games, and the only requirement being that it has to be a Nancy Drew game that I've played / owned. So I have to have played it at some point, and I have to have owned it at some point. So let's just get right on into the list. Starting at the bottom and working our way up. At the bottom, at number 10, we have Stay Tuned for Danger. I just love Stay Tuned for Danger's atmosphere and story. That's like the main driver of Nancy Drew games for me, is the story, the characters, and the setup. Those are like the big hitters in my book. And Stay Tuned for Danger has a lovely atmosphere. The animation wasn't the best back then, but for making their second game ever, it looked great. Also, I really liked the story of Rick getting the death threats. I like how they build up the threats. Like, first it just starts off with notes, then a broken watch, and then a bomb. I've heard other reviewers say that, and I agree with it. I also like how it has like lots of theater elements. Like, you get to go on the set and you see like the secret passageway that leads to the prop room, and you can look at the teleprompter and the camera, and it's just really cool. And I also like a lot of the dialogue. There's a few good like one-liners in there. Yeah. The phone contacts are alright. They're not the best. This was only their second time doing phone contacts, so they're not the best. But they're good for the second game ever. Okay, moving on to number 9. Curse of Blackmore Manor. Curse of Blackmore Manor is kind of a interesting case on the list. For the longest time, my only interaction with Curse of Blackmore Manor was watching it through Let's Plays, because when my sister Melody played through it, she deemed it too scary and got rid of it after finishing it. So I never got a chance to see anyone get to play it. I never got a chance to play it with my sisters, and I never got a chance to play it myself. Until fast forward to like last year, when I found it at Goodwill for like whatever the average price for games. It was like $2 or $3, and it was in good condition, so I bought it. So we replayed through it, and I finally got to play through Curse of Blackmore Manor. And I really like it. I really like the characters. The characters are cool. And there are a lot of good puzzles. A little bit tricky, but still good puzzles. I really like the whole Cogni Rhyme puzzle, and I love the phone contacts in this one. This has great phone contacts, in my opinion. But I would just like to say, that ghost puzzle where you're trying to find the 13 ghosts, me and my sister were stuck on that for the longest time when we were playing back through it. So yeah, that kind of has an interesting story. And it's weird to think back on Curse of Blackmore Manor being the scariest Nancy Drew game, to be deeming it too scary at the time, especially looking at games that we get nowadays, like Shadow at the Water's Edge and Ghost of Thornton Hall, which are 10 times more scary. So yeah. Okay, moving on to number 8. Danger on Deception Island. Danger on Deception Island has always had a soft place in my heart as one of the games that I replay a lot. I don't even know how many times that I've played this game, but the characters are fun. It has pretty simple puzzles for the most part, and I love the character of Helga Swenson, and the whole plot line with her. And she has a couple of fun one-liners in there, so that's always fun. Okay, moving on to game number 7, Warnings at Waverly Academy. This is another game where the story really shines and the characters really shine. I don't really like the phone contacts in this one. I feel like this is kind of where the decrease in phone contacts really began, game-wise, because it's like for a while there they were putting more and more phone contacts in the games, but then they kind of decreased them until nowadays when we only get like 1 or 2 phone contacts per game, which really sucks because phone contacts can be like the best part of the game if you do it right. But Warnings at Waverly Academy, it's very interesting. It has a lot of shorter plot lines that you can skip, and which makes replayability a lot more fun, and yeah, it's really interesting. Number 6, Legend of the Crystal Skull. Legend of the Crystal Skull is one of my favorite Nancy Drew games. Just based on the spooky, like Halloween-like atmosphere. I love the characters. Even though we only really have 3 characters, they're all interesting and likable. Oh, four. I forgot to mod. My bad. They're all likable and fun, and you really do care about, like, getting the answer to all your questions in this game because you care about all the characters. And also, I love how it has the feature of you can play as Beth. I thought that was a really cool thing, and I wish they did it more often in the Nancy Drew games because I feel like with the number of phone contacts decreasing in the games lately, we see less and less of Nancy's friends, which is not cool. Not cool. Moving on to number 5, ironically, The Final Scene, which is another game that I did play. I played it with my sisters a long time ago, back like when they first got into Nancy Drew games. But we recently replayed it because again I found it at Goodwill and it was in good condition and we had a blast. I would just like to say Final Scene is like the shortest Nancy Drew game ever because we started playing it and we like finished it in like 2 days, like 2.5 days. We started playing it like as soon as it was installed, and then we like finished it 2 days later. Not even, I don't think. We like breezed through it. So I want to applaud Final Scene for having relatively simple puzzles, great phone contacts, and a great story and setup. I just love how we're unraveling like the mysteries of like Houdini and like Nicholas Falcone's lineage and such. It's all just so awesome as I hug the wall. Okay, moving into the top 4. Ironically, Treasure of the Royal Tower. I had to put this game somewhere on the list because it was the first ever Nancy Drew game that my 2 older sisters played and I watched them play. So I had to put it on this list. Treasure of the Royal Tower is always going to have a soft place in my heart because it was the first game we ever played. And I understand that it's actually a lot of games. It's actually a lot of fans' first game. So, that's cool. Number 3. This probably comes as a shock to nobody that watches my channel. Game number 3 is the Haunted Carousel. I love the Haunted Carousel. Why? Because I love the characters are great and I love them, and I just love the whole atmosphere of a Haunted Carousel. I just am like, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with like well, okay, that's a lie. I'm still obsessed with like parks like Disneyland and Dutch Wonderland, and like I'm obsessed with like theme parks and stuff. So of course this is gonna be my like favorite theme park. I mean my favorite Dancing Deer game. It's just got a really great atmosphere, and I love the phone contacts. The phone contacts are great. The puzzles are pretty simple, which is always good. And it's one of those games that you really want to play over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, it's great. Moving to number 2. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. Another game that I absolutely love and have probably played a million times. I just love all the characters and the atmosphere. I don't know why, but I am like low-key, high-key obsessed with trains. Don't know why. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. Oh, and the mysteries with Jay Curley and doing all the puzzles is just really interesting, and I like it. So, yeah. Moving on to number 1, The Phantom of Venice. I've always loved The Phantom of Venice. I just love the whole atmosphere, the puzzles, the characters. It's just a great game. Love it. It's awesome. Except for the beastly puzzle at the end with the water pipes. You guys can hate on the vegetable puzzle all you want of Shadow Ranch. That puzzle is nothing compared to the beastly water puzzle of Phantom of Venice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 list, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! As I fall off my ball chair.